Hey everyone, and welcome to video 2 of our Willowfinch onboarding video series. This is actually the second video too. There are 2 versions of the second video depending on whether or not you said that you wanted to include the income streams like your 401k, IRA, pension, Social Security, all of that. If you did say yes, then you'll want to watch the other video too. That's going to include how to go through each of those income streams and talk about when you'll want to draw those and see how that all impacts when they interact over the 10-year projections that the tools will work out for you. If you said no, that's this video, and we're going to go through how to look at the changes in your wages as the main influence on the 10-year projection. If you ever want to change whether you do or don't include those income streams, all you would do is go back to the My Goals section and update that yes or no answer. Save your profile again, and then come back here to My Income, and it'll have everything there for you to enter if you added the yes to include those income streams, or it won't include those and it'll focus just on your wages if you switched it to no. When you have it on no, it's because you either don't want to include those income streams yet, you plan on doing a career change instead of starting to draw those income streams, or if you really just want to focus on that part of your planning. There's a lot of reasons you might have that answer on no. It just matters if you know why and you know what to expect, and then you use the tool and the personalized 10-year projections that it pulls together for you to make sure all of that falls into place and makes sense for you and your plans. So we're going to look over here on this first section. You can see that it does pull in the annual pre-tax income that you had from the My Goals section automatically for you. Again, you can update that by going to the My Goals section if you need to. Save it, come back and see how it impacts the numbers. If you need help with that, check out video 5 of the series. It's the bonus video that talks about keeping your numbers up to date. It'll help you save new values in any of those sections, but including the annual pre-tax income. And if you ever need to rewatch the video, you can always come back to the video on the YouTube page, on the website, or restarting the tour in the corner with the buttons that will be there after you've completed it once. Now, the important thing to remember is that an unbalanced budget, meaning that it's either coming up short or not meeting the metric that you need it to, meaning that it's coming up short from that annual pre-tax income that you currently have in your profile, doesn't mean that that year is wrong. It just means that it doesn't measure up for that year. And really, that's all the calculator can know. It is or isn't measuring up when it runs the 10-year projections. Now, you know whether or not that makes sense for you. So what you'll want to do is, if you see a year that is in a red bubble, that means it's not coming up to the number that you have for your annual pre-tax income currently, you can look at it with the different plans that you have, talk to your financial pro in your life, all of that kind of stuff to make sure that it makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, then you would want to play with changing your plans. The main thing is to make sure that you're aware of it and that you're able to make adjustments and test different ideas out before you get to that point, and you have plenty of time to run that through the scenarios. And it is part of when you're planning things like the location that you're looking at and the houses that you're looking at and the different income streams that you can adjust. You have all of that information at your fingertips and already worked out for you with the tools here in Willowfinch. This section here is the wages. Now, I currently have this demo account set up to a 1-person tax return, so we only see the one wages amount. If you have 2, you'll see 2. And again, if you want to see the other income streams, you can go back and switch that on your My Goals section. But just remember that this is going to be compared to the annual pre-tax income that you had entered on the previous section, and you can see it up above in that section in bold. And this is just reminding you that you can go back to the My Goals section and update that question for yes and no on the different income streams if you do want to include those in the calculations. And the really cool thing about this page is that there's a preview button. So it's just a way to make it easier and quicker to test different scenarios, play with the different income amounts, and change those 10-year projections without actually saving it and overwriting anything you had saved previously to the account. So if you want to test things and try to adjust whether or not certain years are balancing out or coming in above or below different numbers that you're seeing currently, you can change them in sections for the wages, and then you can hit preview to see if it did what you wanted it to do. If you like the way that it's shifted things and you think it's ready to save, then you would hit Save to Profile, which is the button next to it, and you can go see how the changes will affect any of the projections that you can see outlined on the heat maps under the My Maps section after you have saved properties with the Find Properties section. The projections we're talking about will be right here. You see year 1 through 10. The year starts based on what you've put in for the information. and it'll tell you if it's balanced or not balanced. If it makes sense and you like the way it looks, that's great. If it doesn't, you can make adjustments, save the adjustments, and take it from there. And then this section gives you more in-depth information. Because you are only entering your wages here, you won't see the information about the IRA and reduced 401k percentages because they're not getting entered in the different lines of data for the system to use. They do help you plan and make adjustments if those income streams are relevant to what you're working on. So if you need that, you can go back and add that in by saving it in the My Goals section and turning it on. But if you don't, then you don't really need to worry about that part. It will show you the additional income required if a section isn't meeting the balanced amount, but you'll see that up here in this line as well. And then once you're happy with everything and you have it all in there, you can hit Save to Profile. You can always come back and update things later, just like every other section that we'll be going through with these video onboarding series. And then once you have everything saved, you're going to go over to the next section, which is Find Properties. That's going to be video 3, where we show you how to add the Willowfinch bookmarklet to your browser, and then you can go on your favorite property sites and find properties and locations that seem promising, have them saved to your account, and start to see those patterns within the hubs for affordability numbers and all of that in the 10-year projection in your My Maps section that shows you the heat map measurements and everything, and it really starts to get visualized and a lot of fun. So now we're going to go through and enter a few of the numbers just so you can see how the different sections play out. So you can see the wages that I had on the annual pre-tax income were $90,000. So let's say that we're looking at like a semi-retirement or a career change. And I knew that we were planning on $75,000. I could preview to see how that works. It tells us if we're falling short or not. Where this starts to get more information is if you have a second person in there, you can start to see how the different amounts play into each other, and all of the information can come together in the 10-year projection. And then if you need to adjust it, you can always preview to adjust what's going on here. And then if you like what is there, you would tell it to Save to Profile. And then you'll be ready to come up to the Find Properties section up here on the menu and walk through the steps to add the Willowfinch bookmarklet to your browser so that you can use your favorite property sites, start exploring different locations, and saving those locations to your Willowfinch heat maps, where it can start to show you the patterns and the affordability numbers for different hubs that you might be interested in. And you can really get that visualization of all of that data together, and the 10-year projections right there on the map. It's where a lot of the really powerful impact of the tools and fun starts. So if you need any help from us, please do reach out with the Get Support button up in the top right corner here on the menu. You can always email, find the team on social media, and I will see you on video 3, where we walk through how to save that bookmarklet to your browser bar and get started on finding properties.